So in this clip, I'm just going to talk you through how to make a simple query in Access.
So for this first example of a query, what I'm going to assume is that we've been asked to make a list of players with a rating that's between 1 and 3, and that we get the surname, the date of birth, the position and the rating. Whatever we're putting in, generally, it specifies it in some sort of an assignment. So in order to do that, I've closed my tables. I then go on to create and I go on to query wizard. And inside query wizard, all the time virtually, I'll pick simple query wizard. And so I'll go onto my table of players. Now, whether I put in or not the player's ID doesn't really matter. If it doesn't ask it for it on the report, don't put it in. So I've put in the surname, the initial, the date of birth, and I'm going to miss out that bit about their about the mentor ID because we don't need that. But in terms of statistics, I'm going to put in their rating, so I can check that their rating fits a certain thing. Now, at that point, I can go next. Does it want it to be in detail? I then simply go next. We've got to give it a name. We'll call it query example 1. So you're building a query on that kind of first example. Now, initially, it gives you everything. Now, I said I wanted players with a rating between 1 and 3, and you can see that he's got 5, that's got 4, that's got 4. There's much more than 1 and 3. So, how do I narrow that down? I right click, I go to design view, I click onto rating, and I go to that criteria line. And on the criteria line, I simply say I want it to be between, now that's a command it recognizes, between 1 and 3. Now it needs that command it knows. You could do greater than 1 and less than 3, or greater than 0 and less than 4. Yeah, so it fitted in. But between 1 and 3, an easy way of doing it. And you can see, as soon as I press return, it puts in the quotes around the 1 and 3. And as I go back to look at it, into the design view, into the datasheet view, it now just has 1, 2s and 3s in there. So it's taken out those. Now, the other element to things that you might want to do is to say, well, I don't want to show the ID, and I want to rank them on their date of birth, yeah, from youngest to oldest. So, to do that, back to design view, to stop player ID appearing, you can take it out. Now you could take out rating and still have it working on 1 to 3. So something that you're searching on doesn't have to be visible. It can still be controlling your search. Now, when I come to my dates of birth, I wanted to make it go from youngest to oldest. Now I think that's putting it in descending order. Sometimes I get ascending and descending muddled up, and sometimes I have to just look at it to check. But now if I go from there and I go back to my datasheet view, you can see now they are going from the youngest, 2027, to the oldest, 2025, and they are giving us those ratings. So it is working out that within that particular query. So there's an example of how to build one particular query. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to build a more complex